But we'll start it here. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Batman, and we're gonna be doing a reaction video. We're gonna be checking out a debate. It's been a hot minute since we've last done like a actual like debate video, and so we're gonna react to one of them, as you can see. And the first one we're gonna do is gonna be Jay the Great versus Six. If you guys haven't heard of Jay the Great, make sure to check him out. What's it called? If you haven't heard, I'll make sure to put his YouTube down in the description down below so you can look at all his content, videos, you name it. He's actually a really good debater as well. What's it called? And then Six, you guys should know who Six is. He's growing slowly but surely. He's a really good, from what I've heard, I've never seen him debate, but from what I've heard, he's a good debater. And then basically, they decided to link up, debate for a topic, whatever it's going to be. I did watch a little bit in the beginning because I was just curious, like on my own time. And I think it's about Hashirama versus Minato. I think that's who it is. So I could be wrong. I don't remember. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna check it out. It's about 26 minutes and 28 seconds of a debate. So it's not too long. So we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna get into it. Let's get it.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
All right. So we're gonna bring it back here. All right. We'll start it here.
What was it?
Damn near a day. Like that. But he was fighting him with talking about like his actual body.
His actual body?
Because as we know, Hashirama like has crazy reaching or whatever. And there's like something to apply in the fight.
Durability as far as like,
not endurance, actual durability.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Well, I mean, if we're talking about who would win, shouldn't that play into the equation either way?
Yeah, it would play into the equation, but I'm talking about the actual durability because you have to hurt him to get to the region part. So I'm wondering how durable he is.
Well, one thing I could say on that, there is ways to, in a way, to quantify characters' durabilities, even if they don't really have like certain durability feats and stuff. Obviously, it's nothing concrete because there's no way to really know for sure. You know what I mean? The only time we've ever known Hashirama really getting injured was due to the Nine Tails power or Madara, characters that are clearly on his level. So obviously within that scaling, you can imply, those characters can be able to hurt one another, etc. But when it comes to durability, guys, what a lot of people actually forget is when you're using chakra, okay, you can actually use that to amplify your stats. Similar, like one example, similar to Sage Mode. Sage Mode is a prime fucking example where it's literally stated verbatim to increase all your stats. Your strength, speed, durability, reaction, perception, you name it, okay? It makes you built different, makes you a beast, and it's literally adding a third component of chakra, where typically you only have access to the other two components and you're using those along with your stamina. With Sage Mode, it fills in that third portion of the circle, okay? Kind of like a pie chart, you know what I mean? And it's like a percentage with, the first part, second part, and then the nature part with Sage Mode. So with all that, with more chakra and everything, equating to stamina, etc., it just makes you more durable, makes you stronger, faster, you name it. We all know that Hashirama has Sage Mode as well, okay? Obviously, Sage Mode does amplify your durability, you know what I mean, and all that and everything, and the whole fucking 9 yards. So Hashirama should have very good durability, especially if he's in Sage Mode. But regardless of the Sage Mode, even with a lot of chakra, you can be able to increase your durability. We've actually seen plenty of examples. Okay, we've seen that. We've seen that with Orochimaru. We've seen that with Itachi. We have seen that with Pain when he was fighting against V2 Six Tails. We have seen that. Let me see. Trying to think. No, not with a live Madara. There's probably a couple other examples, but I just can't think of them as of now. Like, I would have to do my homework and stuff. But we've had a good amount of characters at certain points where there was no explanation for why they were able to tank that fucking attack, but they did. And one thing you can at least infer is there's two things. Either one, that attack was dog shit, okay? Or two, the attack was very powerful, but they utilized chakra within their body to increase their durability and etc. One example as well, when Pain used Universal Pull and slammed a big fucking rock on the V2 Six Tails Naruto, and it literally forced the Tail Beast Bomb to hit the ground and cause a huge explosion. That was literally point blank in his fucking face, okay? Remind you, where that Pain in particular is, what's it called, over here, you know what I mean, like using Shinra Tensei to avoid certain attacks, you name it, yada yada, clearly not wanting to get hit, blah blah, but then at that point he couldn't use Shinra Tensei, and instead used Universal Pull to make him get hit by his own attack, but he would at least still get hit by the radius of the attack of the impact, and clearly he had to use his chakra in order to, you know what I mean, like increase his durability and then tank the explosion. You know, or you could say maybe he just did another Shinra Tensei, and so it made it like it split it in another way. That's fair as well to argue, but either way, there's nothing to elaborate on that. But what he really did, guaranteed. What we do know, especially if you watch the anime, it happens, the explosion happens, and he just literally goes right towards him, and he just goes like under, and that's it, and that's basically what it was. But he literally tanked like a fucking tail beast bomb from his Six Tails V2 Naruto, which is crazy. We've seen what Four Tails can do when he fought against Orochimaru. Orochimaru is another example. Whenever he's fighting against, V2 Four Tails, basically, getting instantly killed over and over, even by touching him, he disintegrated because of how hot the chakra was. And then there's a point where Orochimaru does it goes at full speed with his like snake form and literally punches V2 Naruto in the face, clearly doing contact and everything and damage, and he didn't disintegrate or better yet, just not be able to make him move or anything. Like, nah, he actually did damage. Okay, so like, and obviously the only implication you could probably either imply is he added more chakra, used chakra control, and you put it into his fist, and then basically was able to do what he did, along with increasing his durability, stuff like that. Just that's generally what you're working with. You know what I mean? So like, you can utilize chakra. Basically what the main argument is, you can use chakra in order to increase your durability. It is shown, okay? And then Sage Mode, that obviously amps your durability and everything because you're getting not only more chakra, a third component to your chakra pool, but Sage Mode is also even stated to increase your durability. Obviously, basically with all that, connecting the dots, the large chakra pool you have, you should be able to use it to make your durability increase, meaning if you do get hit by something, you should be able to survive it more than likely. That makes sense. So I'm assuming Jay the Great is taking Hashirama and 6 is taking Minato, I believe.
Lawler, am I cutting out?
No, you're good, bro. Yeah, he's just...
Jay?
Where'd Jay go?
I think he's cutting out.
Sorry.
Did you hear any of the last few words I said?
No, you can repeat it. Sorry.
Okay. I said his region would definitely play a factor in the fight. Granted, he can, someone's not just speed blitzing him and just fucking him up before it can happen. But to even get to the region part, he has to have a level of durability before that. Someone has to be able to hurt him. So I'm wondering what you have as durability at.
So you're implying Kcm Minato has the adequate...
I'm asking you what his durability is. I'm not moving on to AP yet. I'm wondering what his durability is.
I'm assuming you're implying by asking me that Kcm
I'm not
Minato
implying
has
anything,
ability.
but I want to know what his durability is.
What's the relevance of that?
So if you're not gonna scale your character's durability, then you can't claim he has any beyond like a normal human level.
I mean, he was tagged by Madara, was recovered from that.
You don't know where he was tagged by Madara by.
I mean,
Or what he was tagged by Madara by. Because Madara doesn't have any punching or whatever feats anyway.
Whatever he's hit with, he survived.
We don't know what he was hit with.
Implies his durability.
But we don't know what he was hit with, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, we would know they're relative because the fight.
Yeah, but we don't know what he was hit with. If Madara kicked him in his jaw and he got
So basically what 6 is doing right now is, as we all know, when it comes to screen time and really, really showing what you can really be able to utilize when it comes to just scaling Madara, Hashirama, etc., there's a lot of time skips, and they don't have a whole lot of screen time either. You know what I mean? And the only really thing we really get to see with them is when they're using their ninjutsu. Madara would be Susanoo. Hashirama would be Woodstop. We never really get to see them like just straight up brawling or fighting, you know what I mean, and going all at it just in base and without using their wood style or perfect Susanoo and all this other shit, you know what I mean? Like, the only time we actually really ever seen anything really with Hashirama and Tobirama, just in base, was when he was fighting against Hiruzen. Old Man Hiruzen. And Old Man Hiruzen alive was able to exchange taijutsu blows, go back and forth. Then he also used like some explosive tags. But obviously those are Edos, so they're way more extremely nerfed, and those were the weakest versions of the Edo Tensei that Orochimaru used as well. So there is those factors being put into consideration. But either way, that's the only time we ever really seen, Hashirama kind of being just in base doing things. And meaning that doesn't even help because there's no way to even scale that or quantify that because that doesn't correlate to a live Hashirama. You know what I mean? So it's what Six is doing is kind of weird, but at the same time, he's not wrong and he has a point. There's not really a way to know, like concretely, like whether if Hashirama has very good durability or not. And so meaning that if he can be able to establish the point that Hashirama doesn't have good durability or just really any feats to show his durability is good enough, to where like if his durability gets bypassed to the point where his healing regen can't come into effect, then he's basically dead. You know what I mean? Because he can be able to heal organs, injuries, you name it. But if you cut his fucking head off, he's not regrowing a fucking head like Hulk or Deadpool or some Wolverine regen type shit. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. So like, so his healing regen has limits and it can only be able to heal things that would, typically kill anyone, whether if it's like a severe injury, a minor injury, or maybe even him missing a limb, he could be able to regrow his arm or whatever. But if it's like his head, you know what I mean? If it's like, or better yet, like if he's caught in an explosion and he doesn't use wood style, you know what I mean? Like, and he just gets completely incinerated, he's not coming back from that, So, meaning if Six is able to establish a point that he has no durability feats when he's in base, or really no way to prove whether if he does have good durability, okay, then basically what you're getting is if he's able to argue that Minato can speed blitz and be faster than Hashirama, then therefore, okay, he should be able to just slice his fucking head off and then kill him. I'm assuming that's eventually going to be the direction Six is going, and I think that's what kind of Jay the Great's trying to grasp of like what direction and what he's going to imply, which is why he's saying that, but Six is like, I'm not implying anything for it. He's basically asking the question like, where do you think Hashirama's durability stands and skills at? Okay, he wants to know what he thinks of that. This way that can determine how for him to approach his arguments and go point by point and then go from there and then deliver obviously the winning conditions based on where he quantifies Hashirama's durability. Hope that all makes sense. That's basically what's going on here. Obviously, the main way Jay the Great can be able to argue is to get into the whole thing with chakra, how that can, be able to increase your durability, or sage mode, things like that, and whatnot. Or better yet, if you can't really do that or figure out any methods to even quantify his durability or what, you could do, or a narrative argument, whatever, then the only thing he could really have to argue is to prove that Hashirama's reaction time with his ninjutsu, like wood style or sage mode activation, could be able to immediately activate before Minato is speed blitzing, if that makes sense. He can go that route, but either way, let's get back into it.
Image, that's different because we don't know where Madara's kicks and punches scale, because all Madara does is use jutsu. He's like that type of nigga.
I just think the fight itself implies it. You don't have to be like overly didactic.
Yeah, I mean, you can
like,
think that, but you can't prove it. It's kind of what I'm focused on.
Okay, so what's the point?
So the point would be to get you to admit you can't prove Hashirama has any durability.
I think that doesn't prove it. That does prove it, despite it not being shown to our naked eye.
Yeah, so then you can't claim it. You have no idea what happened.
Another thing too, though, this is a lost point for both sides, so it doesn't really matter because basically there's no way to prove that he does have durability really when it's just him and base, and there's no way to really prove if he does have durability. You know what I mean? Vice versa. You can go either way. So this point is not given to either or party. It doesn't matter. So no one's going to win this point because at the end of the day, Six is literally saying it. There's really no screen time to go off. They're always using jutsu, you name it, all that crap, which has nothing to do with his durability and base. Meaning, therefore, like, we just don't fucking know. So meaning that this is a losing point for both sides. It doesn't matter. So this is not really going to benefit either or, in my opinion. I don't know why they're really going off at this point. It's kind of redundant. Because once again, you know what I mean, you can only really infer or, go off certain implications or interpretations, stuff like that. And obviously that type of evidence isn't officially concrete or guaranteed to prove that point. Meaning, for you to establish that point and use that to your advantage, and basically, like let's say we're doing a point system, then there you go. Now that person has a point because that was the argument, whatever, yada yada, and this and that. Overall, that's not going to do anything for either or because it's the same for both sides. Jay could easily be like, well, okay, you can't prove that he doesn't have good durability, so whatever, who cares? It's just that simple. So
what happened was that it was basically a stalemate. That's what happened.
Yeah, but you don't know how it got to that point. You don't know what Hashirama was.
It happened though. That's relativity.
The point of it would be to say what he got hit by to actually scale his durability. So if we say Madara kicked Hashirama, where is Madara's kick scale? Who else does Madara kick to say, oh, okay, well Hashirama would be stronger than this person?
Like who could he kill with his kick? You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not Hashirama. I mean, I would assume his ninjutsu abilities are beyond the levels of his own physical body's attacks. Just Susanoo is that beyond of himself. It's his speed.
Yeah, his Susanoo and Hashirama's whip style, those are all like really strong. But what we're trying to figure out right now, since we're talking about if Hashirama...
Oh shit.
The 6 is gone. They're both... both their shit is fucking up.
Since we're talking about when Hashirama gets hit, is how strong Hashirama's durability is.
Right, but that's assuming Kcm Minato has the speed to blitz him in that manner, right?
Yeah.
So he couldn't awaken his.
That's why I'm talking about durability first.
Right.
Okay.
See, called it. I already know the direction this is going.
So, do you have any durability scaling for Hashirama's actual body?
I think the fight implies it, despite us not saying.
Yeah, you said that earlier, but you can't prove that. You can say you think it implies it. Okay, prove the fight proves it.
The writer himself can't show every single scene of every single battle. That's not manageable.
Yeah. Which means you can't prove it.
So all you can do is imply it.
So 6 is right, and Jay is right in a sense as well. So this is a stupid topic. So basically what 6 is really trying to say is you can't prove that, you don't really know, so it's basically up in the air for grabs, who knows, who cares. So meaning it's a lost point, it doesn't fucking matter. But Jay is saying, well, it's clearly implied narratively or blah, blah, whatever, this and that, so meaning therefore that should be able to prove it and that's all the evidence you need, meaning that whatever, and that's not the case either. So overall this point is it's literally stupid. There's nothing really to talk about. It's dumb. Regardless if Hashirama does have incredible durability in his base or not, whatever the case may be, it's really redundant. It's not going to get this anywhere because basically what I'm trying to say is Jay could argue that he does have durability, that it's implied, and 6 could just say he doesn't have durability because we don't have anything to go off, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Meaning nobody is winning. You know what I mean? Like nobody's winning that point. So meaning then if we were to go to the next thing with speed, and then Minato utilizes his KCM 2 speed and everything or whatever and goes, you know what I mean? And then, then Hashirama is having to deal with him. It gets to the point where, like, okay, well, what's going to happen now, basically, right? You know what I mean? Like, and basically what should be the next thing to discuss, durability shouldn't even be a factor in this equation because that's the whole reason why Hashirama has healing abilities. That's the whole reason why he has wood style. That's why he has sage mode. That's why he has wood clones, shadow clones. This way, if he does get potentially tagged or blitzed or whatever, he has jutsus to compensate for that. You see what I'm saying? That's what the focus should be on. That's where it should be going and how Jay should really be responding and going in that direction because you're right. Both sides are both right. You could say or you could say not. You don't know. So meaning they need to go off on something else to where something you can prove and can scale and then move forward and go from there. Because the way I see it, if KCM 2 Minato was in front of fucking Hashirama and Hashirama's there, okay, and they're about to fight, right? You could easily argue fucking Hashirama can just immediately activate Sage Mode and be able to perceive and dodge his attack when he goes to Blitz, just like what fucking a blind Sage Mode Madara did to Tobirama, okay? You could easily imply that. You could also imply that Hashirama's Wood Style could activate just in time to go all around him before Minato could even fucking land the blow. Like, there's many things, jutsu activation, all that stuff and everything, like that could be able to compensate. So there's a whole fucking way to talk about it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm basically saying. So overall, like that's where it really needs to go from here. But Let's see how this goes. I don't know how long they're gonna be stuck in this.
Jared, like you're
Okay,
implying
what
that if Madara
implies-
would have kicked him, he would die from it. I don't think that's the case because he would have
No,
lost.
but
the
we
fight.
don't know. We don't know. We don't know if Madara.
What we
even
do
kicked
know
him.
is
We
that
don't know what
they nearly
happened.
stalemated though. That's what.
Yeah,
happened.
but we don't know what happened. We
Well,
don't know what
we
happened.
The outcome is all that
For
matters
it
to
to get to
imply
that
though.
point. Yes, it. Oh my God. The reason why that matters is that if Madara was to kick Hashirama, because we don't know why he got the damage on him, right? Because we didn't see the fight. We don't know how he got the damage on him. Do you admit that?
I would admit that out of 100 times he'd hit him a few times because of relativity. He would hit
Yeah,
him.
okay, but we don't know where the damage on Hashirama came from. We know Madara caused it. We don't know where it came from, right?
I think we're at a standstill because we disagree on what we can say or claim. I don't agree that I can't claim that just because we don't see every single second of the battle.
Jay, focus on what I'm asking you right now.
This is I
We
think it's
know
it's in
Madara
circles.
caused. We know Madara caused the damage to Hashirama. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But we do not know what Madara used to cause the damage. We don't know if it was
Mostly
Susanoo.
Susanoo from the panels.
Okay, the Susanoo, when Madara was using that was earlier in the fight. We don't know what happened later in the fight when he was fighting Hashirama. Because as far as we saw, he never hit Hashirama with his Susanoo.
If you want to be pedantic, the fight did end with them and without any Susanoo, and it ended like just their regular bodies with Madara on the ground. So if you want to,
Okay. They were both tired at that point. That's cool.
right, implies relativity.
Another thing too, technically there is one moment with Hashirama and Madara when they're both exhausted and then they both go to clash one final time, and Madara wins that clash. And with just like his sword or whatever, he bypassed Hashirama's durability, and just like a AP Taijutsu sword strike, and then Hashirama used a wood clone and got behind him and then stabbed him. You know what I mean? So I guess that's one way if you want to really, go by what you can see and one way to prove. But then at that point, that means like therefore Hashirama's durability is and Madara's durability is with swords. Like, that's a little weird, bro, because like I said, was saying before, if you apply enough chakra or whatever, you can increase your durability, and then with Sage with that Amset as well, yada yada. So like, I don't know. I think that's really weird to say they would have only sword level durability, but whatever,
Yeah, I get that they're relative, but with not knowing how Madara caused the damage to him is what makes it so you can't scale Hashirama's durability.
I disagree.
Okay, what? This is looking making me mad. Okay, what part of Madara punching Hashirama at some or not punching?
bruh. Six come out. He's like, this is really making me mad. You wanna know what's funny about that, Six? Feelings don't matter. So I'll be real with you. If we were debating and you start saying like that, I'm like, well, tough titty. Like, I'll egg it on, bro, and then he'll really have a reason to get mad.
Damaging Hashirama at some unknown point that you don't know how the damage was caused scales Hashirama to any of Madara's juice.
But you asked that again?
Okay. You are claiming that because they fought,
Right.
you can scale Hashirama's durability to Madara, right? Okay. I'm saying because there was no on-panel fight at that point, you do not know how Madara caused that damage to him, so you cannot say because they fought, he is relative to Madara's jutsu. It is a completely unknown factor that we cannot make a claim on. Saying that the
Saying he
author
can't
cannot, I'm not done talking. Saying that the author cannot draw every panel and it's ridiculous
I mean, it's a
doesn't matter.
restriction.
Yeah, don't
it
interrupt.
does matter.
Don't interrupt me. Say it when I'm done talking.
Sure.
Saying that the author can't draw every panel because he is ridiculous or whatever is not an argument against the point, because it just helps me that we don't know. Since Kishimoto couldn't draw it, we don't know.
I don't think it helps you. I think the outcome helps me. It implies
This nigga's
relativity.
retarded. I
So So they're both wrong. like it doesn't help Jay and it doesn't help Six. Like I don't know what's so fucking confusing about this. Like deadass, like this is so stupid. Your Six is absolutely right. You don't fucking know. There's no way to really prove blah blah etc. Right? So meaning who the fuck knows? It could be or it could not. Basically, that's what it should be. The answer. But Jay is like, oh, his durability is good. That is what it is. I think because it's implied, they're relative, blah, blah, they fought, whatever. And then Six is like, no, it's not. Who the fuck cares? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, yes, it could either it is or it's not. We don't know. So this point is redundant. It's lost. Who the fuck cares?
Well, we can move on to the next point. We disagree.
Cool. Anyway, so you're aware that. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I have this scan. Yeah, check event skins. Baller, where the fuck did you put event skins? That's okay.
In the server, buddy.
Yeah, I got it, buddy.
Bruh.
Until I was able to keep up with
He said, look in the server, buddy. And then he's like, I got it, buddy.
Sorry, you said Minato can keep up with Sage Mode Naruto?
BG Sage Mode Naruto.
BG Sage Mode Naruto. You're asking if you could keep up with him?
I'm not asking anything, I'm showing you.
Oh, you're showing me a scan.
I wish they were showing what they're showing too, but it's fine. I can remember and know what they're talking about too, so it's not a big deal. So instead, actually, since there's nothing really to fucking show, I'll make sure to have the audio still on. How about that? This way you guys can see, or not see. You can hear, but you just can't see because it's just a fucking black screen. You know what I mean? Like that's all you're seeing right now. So I'll keep that on. Let me. There you go. So now you can hear them still, but you just can't see the black screen, and you can see all this at least.
Alright, so from that, you're implying that BG Sage Mode Naruto is faster than Hashirama?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
I'll show you what they're talking about.
But this is cool with you?
That he's as fast as BG Sage Mode Hashirama? I mean, it's Naruto, sorry.
Yeah.
I have to see the whole scan. Let's see.
That is the whole skin.
Started here. Remember exactly where. Okay, that's definitely not anywhere near. We're going a little bit too far now. Let's go here.
In my opinion, I don't think he's as fast.
I don't care about your opinion. Look at the panel. They're attacking at the same time.
I just think at that point, Naruto was the top dog, just implied with him.
I don't care what you think. Look at the panel.
I'm just not gonna give you that point. I mean, you can continue.
I don't care. I don't care what you think or what you think you're gonna give me. I'm showing you the panel that they are relative.
I see the panel.
Okay, do you have anything against the panel other than your opinion?
I'd have to see the panels, other panels.
What other panels? This is the panel.
Of the war.
You want me to show you the whole war arc? That's a
No,
ridiculous
I'm saying
burden.
I
I'm
could,
not showing
I could
you
check. I'm not asking you for that.
that. Okay.
So basically, what Jay was trying to say
Continue on while I look
is
for
he's
it.
trying to make sure the context, if that makes
Here's
sense.
KCM 2 Naruto.
Hang
You
on.
can see in his eyes. KCM 2 Naruto pinning down Sage Madara.
So what he's trying to say is basically, he wants to make sure to look at the context, because whenever someone shows a scan or they're providing a point or an argument, they could say something and say what this therefore means and what they're implying, etc. But then if you don't actually go to that panel that they sent and look at the overall context and see what it is, you can actually catch them in a contradiction, basically is what that means. Clearly what Six is establishing at this point is that they're both moving at the same speed, blah, 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 and this is Minato without Sage Mode and Naruto with Sage Mode and the Biju transformation. So therefore, like, has the same speed, blah, blah, you name it, whatever. You know what I mean? And then he's going to go on, etc. And that's what he's basically showing. And then Jay is just watching because he believes Naruto's more powerful than Minato, which, obviously, if we're comparing Minato's Biju avatar with no Sage Mode, we know both their avatars are the same power level. It's literally stated and shown. If Naruto applies Sage Mode, obviously he would be more powerful, meaning more faster, durable, stronger, etc. It's just, there's so much evidence to fucking prove that. You know what I mean? So much. Alright, so this is easy to even debunk and easily make Six look like an idiot. But regardless, Jay, what he's doing is to check the context to make sure there's no, whatever bullshit, to make sure nothing's contradicting what Six is basically claiming, and then go from there and then give his arguments and why he disagrees, so on and so forth, etc. So that's basically what he's going to do at this moment. And then that's why Six is, talking about, like, bro, like, what you mean looking at the panels, like, it doesn't matter? It does matter. It is very important. So, but yeah, that's basically all that's going on. But we're going to go back into the video, and I just want to kind of show you guys that too. So. Oh, fuck. Hang on. It's like, why is it not going? Okay, they're not talking.
Obviously, he has to tag him for.
I was like, wondering why they weren't talking.
Which obviously he has to tag him for.
What was that?
I said this is KCM to Naruto pinning down Sage Madara, which would obviously be him tagging him.
Right.
So I'm claiming KCM to Naruto over Sage Madara.
This is what Six is referring to, this whole moment and everything.
Just to be clear, by the way, the earlier point, we were just leaving up to whoever was listening, right?
Yeah, huh?
Okay. I didn't want you to think I conceded or gave up or some dumb
No,
shit like
yeah,
that.
no. Yeah, no.
Specifically the Hashirama durability point, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I guess the scaling I would use for Hashirama speed would be he was able to react to Madara Susanoo on top
We're
of
not
the
talking
9th
about
level.
Hashirama speed. We're
Okay,
talking
but
about
you're-
Minato's speed.
Okay, just
You're going
continue
on the scaling
your-
Hashirama. So, yeah. KCM to Naruto over Madara, and Madara is relative to Hashirama.
I would say the Madara with the Nine Tails on top of it is relative to Hashirama. 'Cause that's how he fought him when they were alive, which amps his speed.
What amps his speed?
The Nine Tails,
What?
Susanoo on top of the
Nine
Nine Tails.
Tails amps Madara's speed.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
capping
when
on
they
that,
fought
bro.
him when they were alive.
Like you're capping on that, bro. You're capping on that, Jay. Come on. Like, all right. So what Jay just said is that the Nine Tails is amplify Madara's speed. There's no way to prove that. All Madara is doing is controlling the Nine Tails with a Sharingan, which, if anything, would actually do the opposite because that's taking a shit ton of stamina and chakra to do. It could potentially even be making Madara slower, meaning now he has to activate Susanoo and you name it because he's already using so much fucking chakra, So now, if you're comparing his perfect Susanoo speed and then majestic Susanoo speed, then yeah, that's fair, that's fine. But to say that the 9 kills is amping his speed and everything and all that, like, huh? What? That's wild. Yeah, no, I agree with 6 there. That's crazy.
Why does the Ninetales amp Madara's speed?
Because the cloaks, wouldn't it blend their chakra? It'd be like one. They basically were one.
Yeah, we don't know that. With Hashirama, he says that Madara is using his Susanoo like armor. So if anything, it got slower. Armor doesn't merge with you. I'm sure you know that. It sits on top of you.
Yeah.
So it's not amping his speed. And even then, that wouldn't make sense because whenever Hashirama got done with the Ninetales, him and Madara fought to that standstill at the end, which you admitted they're relative. That was after the Ninetales was gone.
Okay, yeah, I should have thought of that before. I would have retracted that, but it's too late now. Let's continue on.
Yeah. Anyway, so by that scale there, Minato would be faster than Hashirama.
Okay, so makes sense. I already predicted that.
So far.
Makes sense. Makes sense because if you think about it, you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously the main way to win this type of debate. Just prove that Hashirama has no durability, and what you can't really prove he doesn't. That's a point you won't ever be able to have. But regardless, you would go that angle, which no one would really win for either or on that point. And then 2, then it's about speed. Who is faster? And if 6 is, as long as he's able to prove that Minato is faster by some way with a statement, whatever, feats, whatever, then that's obviously going to be very critical. You know what I mean? Like, he's just going to then speed blitz Hashirama before he could fucking do anything. You know what I mean? But then that's where it comes to the point where you have to argue, you know what I mean, whether if it's jutsu activation speed and all that, Sage Mode activation, you know, fucking wood style, so on and so forth, you know what I mean? So even, like, let's say even if Hashirama's movement speed and all that, or body flicker was not faster than fucking Minato when he does his, you know, either body flicker or flying Raijin or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, then you could just easily argue, all right, his wood style activation along with Sage Mode activation, which is kicking right in time, right when Minato's doing his speed, and then there you go, he's fine. You know, whatever. So, but anyways, let's continue listening. Let's see what Jay's going to say in defense against that point. I'm very, very curious.
Or do you understand?
Yeah, I'm just looking for a counter argument.
Looking for one?
Yeah, trying to find one in my head, like what would work against that scaling.
Well, it doesn't matter what would work against it. I'm saying you've agreed to the whole thing. You just agreed to a set of arguments to lead to the case of Minato being faster than Hashirama. You want me to explain it all to you? So we went through Minato being relative to BG Seijo Naruto. That was dropped. Then we went to BG Seijo Naruto over KCM. That
one way to argue against that point, which I don't know, like Jay is letting the 6 really just talk and just have all these points going. Like as of now, like I'm not trying to be mean, but 6 is definitely winning the debate. What's it called? But like one way to easily counter that is you could just easily imply that Naruto was just restraining himself, holding back his power to allow Minato to keep up with him to make it look like it's the relative. You know what I mean? There's no way. Like if you're actually like dead ass with it, I don't know if 6 believes this or not, which I know damn well he more than likely does it. He's just saying it, you know, obviously in the debate, and Jay's not really doing a great job to refute or go against it, so that's why he doesn't have any reason, you know, whatever, he's debating. But let's say we're actually implying integrity here. If you people can't understand that Sage Mode Biju Avatar is not greater than normal Biju Avatar, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's so many ways to argue against everything 6 is saying and to just make him look like an idiot and actually make this point be redundant. Like literally, if I was debating against 6 right now, dead ass, you could easily debunk this all. Like all Jay has to talk about is the Sage Mode amps, what Sage Mode does for you and everything, how it it gives you a third component, chakra, you name it, yada yada. And you could easily just argue that obviously Naruto's holding back his power in order to allow Minato to keep up with him and do that, the attack that they did on Jubito. Okay, that's it. And then better yet, when they did that attack still didn't work against Jubito, and then KCM2 Naruto had to literally add Seijutsu to a tail beast bomb. And then Jubito was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not letting myself get hit by that. And he had to activate the Divine Tree and use a Hacks ability in order to basically body Naruto's power level. Because at that point, if Naruto landed a Tail Beast Bomb on Jubito, especially with Sage Mode, he's fucking dead. Okay, while if Minato did that with his Biju Bomb, it wouldn't fucking do anything. You know what I mean? They literally just did a massive Rasengan together, both putting chakra to it, remind you, okay? And Naruto added Sage Mode, and Minato even told him, make sure to add your Sage Mode to it as well. And that it didn't do anything. It didn't beat him. Wasn't able to do the finishing blow to Jubito. Jubito did his True Seeking Orbs and just blocked it all and was able to contain it, and then he was fine. So, this is, I don't know, if Jay is just nervous right now, or... I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? I'm not going to speak on all that. But regardless, as if this is going as of now, 6 is definitely taking the lead at this point. Definitely. I'm not even trying to be mean. I'd be the first one to say if 6 is taking a fucking out. Anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I mean? So we'll leave it at that. But that's just me. Let's see what Jay decides to do.
Madara, that was agreed to, moved on past, and then we went over Madara relative to Hashirama. And then that was agreed on. So just all the arguments you've agreed to so far lead to the conclusion that Minato, with one arm, is faster than Hashirama. So as far as speed, you've already lost.
I guess the best one I can muster up to counter that was Hashirama was seen as a top dog when they were resurrected by Orochimaru. He was the one that everyone would say.
Yeah, top dog right under Minato.
No, I disagree. Not under Minato.
It doesn't matter what you're disagreeing with. Now. I'm telling you right now, Jay, you've already agreed to multiple arguments that lead to that conclusion. You're not allowed to.
The only thing I agreed to was I wasn't able to retract what I said previously.
Yeah. I'm about to say, he didn't ever agree, though.
Previously was agreements to the points.
I have to go back unless I missed it, but I don't remember Jay agreeing, though. I remember Jay just being like, no, I disagree, blah, blah, and then him also saying that, all right, let me look for some evidence to contradict what you're claiming, basically. You know what I mean? So I don't know about all that, but I would have to go back, and I ain't going back for that. If that is the case, then yeah, that's even more of an L for Jay. That's all I'm saying. So, but let's get back to it.
So Orochimaru was saying Hashirama was the only one that could break out. Implies he was.
He didn't say Hashirama was the only one who could break out.
Tobirama could have, possibly.
Tobirama couldn't. He said that much.
Yeah, Tobirama could have. Hashirama
even posed a threat to that in the first place.
So Hashirama could be able to break out at any moment. It's literally stated verbatim. Tobirama couldn't because Orochimaru was using Hashirama cells to enhance the binding technique to Edo Tensei. If he didn't have Hashirama cells, Tobirama would have broken out. And then Minato and Hiruzen weren't doing anything because they were just kind of, eating some fucking popcorn at this point and enjoying the show, And then Minato was really amazed at their chakra ores and how much power they were releasing off and everything too, So, but if Minato went into KCM2 and stack Sage Mode, he probably could have been able to break out of that, dead ass. You know what I mean? So if anyone's really breaking out, it'd have been Minato and Hashirama. That's it. Not Tobirama and not Hiruzen. If we're going to be talking about this as a fucking point, But anyways, let's get back to it and play the fucking thing again.
Minato and Hiruzen were just sitting there. And Minato wasn't even in KCM at that time anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're talking about KCM Minato.
Even after that, when Hashirama saw Jubito, he stated, "Even I'm weaker," which implies he thought he knew he was the top dog there, the strongest one there.
That doesn't imply that. All he's saying is, I'm weaker than this nigga. That's
even
it.
Even I'm weaker.
That's not what he says. All he says is, I hate to admit it, this guy's stronger than me. Minato hasn't even done anything by this point for Hashirama to know how strong he is.
I mean, he's
or
a sensory
fast
ninja.
because we're talking about
Sensory ninja.
speed. No, Tobirama is the sensory.
Yeah.
That's why
Right, he's the
Hashirama
one that's
relies
best.
on him to do everything.
Well, there's one way you could actually argue against that too. Hashirama was able to sense Black Zetsu watching the fight, though. Just saying. You know what I mean, so you could imply Hashirama does have sensing abilities. So
Like whenever Madara was outside of the little Hokage office watching, he said somebody was out here, Tobirama. Do you know who it was? And Tobirama was like, no, I'm not molding chakra right now, so I don't know. Tobirama is the sensory, not Hashirama, so no.
I disagree with that point. The only reason why I disagree because there was a showing where Zetsu was watching, and then out of nowhere, Hashirama was able, because he's in battle mode basically. You know what I mean? And he's able to sense, and he's like, huh? And he realizes, and he looks over and realizes someone was over, and then and that's basically that. And then not only that, Hashirama even detected Madara listening to the conversation. He's like, "Hey, are you molding chakra? Did you sense the person over there as well, whatever?" And then Tobirama was like, "No, I'm not molding my chakra, blah blah." So yeah, Tobirama is the sensory, blah blah, and Minato does the same shit too. But Hashirama does have as like a sense. You know what I mean? Like regardless if you want to say if it's on par with Tobirama or Minato, I'm not arguing that, but he can sense. So, but I guess like what Six is trying to say is Tobirama and Minato can sense chakra signatures and levels and all that, while Hashirama, if he's focused, whatever, or paying attention, he can be able to sense maybe someone's presence, but not obviously their chakra signature and all that and yada yada. Otherwise, Hashirama would have knew that was Madara eavesdropping, because if it was Tobirama using his sensory ability, he would have known that was Madara's chakra. He would have known. He would have said it. He said it in the war arc. You guys see what I'm saying? So, anyways, let's continue. I could be able to debate Jay and fucking Six in a 2v1 right now, from what the shit I'm hearing so far. Like, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so like I said, you've already agreed to multiple arguments that lead to the conclusion Minato is faster than Hashirama. I don't care what you're trying to bring up now, that's already been agreed to. I could run it down to you again if you want me to, but I don't think there's really any need for that. I think you understand me, you're just being stubborn. So we're gonna move on now. Cool?
I didn't agree to that, but sure.
Okay, do you want me to explain to you how you did again?
So,
Let's continue on.
I'm going to say this.
So do you understand?
Unless the words come out of someone's fucking mouth and they say, yeah, I agree, then yeah, sure. But if that's not the case, and those words never came out of their fucking mouth, I don't give a flying rat's ass if you think, that they agreed, or explain why I think you agree to me, blah, blah. That doesn't fucking matter. If someone's not saying they agree, you cannot prove that they agreed. Who gives a rat's ass? So if that's what Six is trying to say here, then no, he's definitely in the fucking wrong, and that's an L in his part. If I was a judge, I'd be like, hey, he never agreed, Six, enough. You know what I mean? If that's the case. I'm not going to go back to see if the words came out of fucking Jay the Great's mouth that he did agree or not. It's not that serious, but I'm just saying, if he didn't say those words, then no, you can't make that argument. Meaning, therefore, you cannot move on because clearly it's still being argued about and debated, those points. You know what I mean? And what I do specifically remember is Jay saying that, or I'm finding an argument to contradict your argument, or, to prove it wrong, whatever. And that was basically what I do recall. I specifically remember Jay saying that in the debate. So I don't know what Six is going all on about with that. But either way, if Jay did say those words and that did come out of his mouth that he does agree, then yes, that's an L on his part. And by all means, if he agreed, then move on, right? So, but that's all I'll say on that. Let's continue.
Understand or no?
Sure.
Okay, cool. He understands, he agrees. So, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, that was speed. I don't think you could prove Hashirama had any durability, so I would just say Minato would bitch slap him. But even if you did, Minato could seal him into a kunai. Here, let me grab you something real quick. Actually, Jaja, do you have this scan? Hold up. Maybe I have it already.
looking for a little bit more. There's something else I wanted to bring up during the war arc to kind of elaborate on this topic of what they're debating as well.
No, this isn't
The
it.
debate over?
No, I'm trying to find something right now. He agreed Minato is faster. So here it is. Check event scans. You can read this whole thing if you want to, but I'm gonna read it for everybody who's just listening. It says a sealing formula. You see, it says users fourth Hokage. A sealing formula that seals evil using circle 4 images. As a result of a Fuin jutsu, a sealing formula is carved into, for instance, a human body or an object. The 4 symbol seal is one of these. But I mean, that's really all I have to read. It says you can seal it into a human body or an object. So rather he wants to seal Hashirama inside himself and become the Hashirama Jinchuriki, or put him inside of a... Night Flame took my argument, by the way. Put him inside of a kunai. That's just another way he could kill Hashirama, regardless of AP.
I've never heard of that one. That's news to me. I'd actually have to see that scan and see what's going on with that. I've never heard of that one.
I guess the speed feed is over, so...
And the only thing I will say as well is if that's really the case, and Minato could have done that to Jubito, but he didn't. Minato could have done that to Obito during the Nine Tails incident, but he didn't, and instead he used to seal the Reaper Death Seal. So what's up with all that? You know what I mean? So there's ways to still argue against that, but I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about on that. So I'm just going to leave that point and not really go on from there. I think Jay is going to be concluding the debate here either way, so let's see what happens.
Right. It is what it is.
So you can see?
Why not?
Alright, bro. Good debate.
Okay. So, Daddy, my baby, why are you misguided enough to think that Minato beats Tobirama?
What the fuck are we watching right now?
How do you know he's...
Okay, it moved on to another debate. I'm like, wait a minute, like, what's happening right now? Okay, so the debate ended. So, all right, so here's my thoughts on that so far. We're going to get this down. We'll put that there for now. So, overall, obviously, the winner of that debate was clear as fucking day. It's obviously 6. You know, it is to a point where Jay eventually said, yeah, I agree, it's fast, blah, blah. Went from there. They talked about certain things. One point that was blatantly lost between them both that was no one gained was when it came to the whole durability thing. That was very fucking stupid. Then when it came to the speed, obviously 6 had all his evidence to kind of prove why Minato's faster, while Jay didn't really have anything to go off. The only thing he mentioned was with the Orochimaru saying that he stated to be the strongest or whatever, yada yada, don't want to be able to break out, blah blah. Which 6, you know, had his points to basically refute that, etc., which he did pretty well. Then there's a point even in the war arc where then Jay the Great pulls up another statement saying, oh wow, this guy's even stronger than me. You know what I mean? Basically, you know, implying that would make him even greater than, you know, Minato, blah blah, because it wasn't Minato dealing with Jubito, it was, you know, Hashirama instead. But then 6 had his refutations with that and basically provided why that's irrelevant, yada yada. And that has nothing to do with Minato. And then Minato was just, you know, basically just watching at that point, like he wasn't getting involved yet. And not only that, if you really want to go even further on that too, like that Minato didn't even really do anything because he was mentally nerfed the whole time. He was in a daze. And not only that, every time he went to do something, then Jubito would say some words and it would immediately catch him off guard and he'd have like an emotional reaction to it. So we at the end of the day, we don't even fucking know how Minato would even perform because he's too busy getting fucking severely mentally nerfed and getting dicked on by Jubito. You know, mental nerves and mental amps are a thing in Naruto. So there's that. But either way, like that happened and everything. So overall, like 1-6 was basically winning the speed point. Basically, Minato just speed blitzes, and then Hashirama, you know what I mean, gets hit. But even if he were to get hit, the question is, does he die? And that's where, you know, or better yet, like even if you were to even grant Minato greater speed, which there could be ways for you to argue Hashirama having greater speed. There's probably plenty of evidence to be able to go about that too if you want to do that. But regardless, if you don't, let's say you concede that point and say, all right, Minato's faster, then you could easily just argue, all right, then Hashirama's jutsu activation will compensate for his lack of, mobility and combat speed. Wood style and Sage Mode activation, and that's it. Or substitution or shadow clone. Who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Like, so you can just easily do that, so I don't know. There's many ways to go about it, but either way, overall, 6 won the fucking debate. It's that simple. We're gonna watch another Jay the Great debate video, like of him debating against someone else, and kind of see how he does and what he is, because this is my first time seeing him debate someone, and this isn't. I'm not saying like he sucks or anything, but obviously, as what I'm getting from this so far, this isn't showing me really what he's capable of in debating. Because basically what I got from his debate is that he didn't even have any like evidence really, right? You know what I mean? Like it was like he was arguing for someone, and the only thing that he had in mind was just to kind of argue narratively and like the implications and so on and so forth. And he didn't really, go to think like, all right, I should probably have way more scans, evidence when it comes to, durability, speed, blah, blah, and feats, and you name it, all that good stuff. So I feel like it's just Jay the Great didn't, he wasn't ready for this debate at all, while 6 was. You know what I mean? Which obviously there's no equity in that. That's not fair, but then again, that's not 6's problem, that's Jay's problem at that point, So there was that, and then overall, like, it was just weird, you know what I mean? So I don't know. So we're definitely check out another debate video with Jay the Great, to see how he does in like another video. Or better yet, if you guys can recommend me a debate video from Jay the Great that was really good of him either bullying someone or him having a pretty good debate with someone and he wins whatever, show me that as well. Link it down in the comments down below. Let me know. But I will be eventually picking another debate video. He has like a debate playlist on his account. So I'll check one of those out. I'll probably look at like the Batman versus Iron Man one, because that's interesting. He takes Batman and the other guy was taking Iron Man, so we'll look into that. But either way, good video, good debate. I liked it, enjoyed it. Six got a W, so I'll give him that. And like I said, I'm not saying that because I'm a fan of 6 or anything, or anything like that. What's it called? If 6 got a no, I'll be the first one to say you got a fucking no. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, deadass. Like, there was even a point during the debate while I was listening where it was painful, not only with certain things that 6 was saying, but what Jay was saying. I'm like, bro, I could do a 2v1 right now and make them both look stupid. You know what I mean? Like at certain points. Okay, so, but either way, we're going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. Who you think you won the debate. I think it should be obvious, but that's just me. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe you guys on the channel if you're into these things as well. I'll definitely have a lot more reaction to debates, give my thoughts on it, etc. I actually like doing it because it kind of gives me a gauge of what people can do when they are debating and how they can perform and so on and so forth. This way, it kind of, gives me a grasp of basically what, how they debate, how they go about it. And that's just obviously having intel on my end. And that would make it to the point where I would know whether or not if I really think I could be able to beat them in a debate or at least debate against them, if that makes any sense. So overall, for what I'm seeing, first time seeing Jay the Great and 6 debating, I strongly believe I could be able to win a debate or debate very good against them, to where it can be either very contentious of who either won it or whatever the case may be. That's from what I've seen so far. You know what I mean? I do know 6 is an incredible debater. I've heard Jay the Great is also a really good debater. So, I can't really say too much as when it comes to judging or gauging their debating skills just from this debate alone. So for all I know, 6 could be tremendously fucking better than me. For all I know, Jay the Great could be tremendously fucking better than me. I don't know. So what from what I've seen so far and from this debate, hell no. Hell fucking no. I could have, better yet, like, dead ass. It could have been round 2. If I even knew that was going on, I could have hopped in that voice chat and be like, hey, all right, Jay the Great, back out. Let me fucking handle this shit. You know what I mean? Like, pull some fucking Afro Kabuki when they're going against Seth, and Seth was bullying them with the Minato versus Akatsuki debate, and then Afro, and then Kabuki comes in, he's like, Afro, all right, enough. Let me handle this fucking bitch, and then goes from there. That'd be the same energy, but the only difference, instead of Seth giving him an L as well, it wouldn't be an L, and I gave him an L, okay? But anyways, it was good. I'm going to end it here. Peace, guys.